live right now. I'm honestly not sure. Because today, I am streaming directly from... Yeah, okay, let's start over. I don't know if this show actually started yet, but we're now 10 seconds into the show. As I was saying, today we are streaming directly from OBS and into Restream. And this will enable us to hopefully run the video at a smoother frame rate. Although I don't have the most confidence in that I find the video compression to be questionable when I do it this way. But we should have, no sound problems at all. What's up, David Glenn? Oh, but there is one caveat. Oh, wait, can I do this? Okay, so I'm learning something new here. So obviously I'm up here at my top screen. And Restream's all like bitching about my bitrate. And I don't know why. And I don't know what I gotta click over here, but I feel like I gotta click something here. Embed chat? No, I wanna click on the chat. Alright, I may not be able to highlight... Oh, yeah, I can't highlight chat today. But we can probably do an experiment. Let's see if this works. Oh, that's cool. Alright, I learned something new. Give me 1 second to sort this out. We're going to do an experiment. We're going to add a new web source. In fact, I'll show you guys. We're going to add a new web source to OBS. And we're going to call this one RS Chat. Then we're going to click Okie Dokie. And then it might load a chat box. This chat is ready to display messages. Well, alright, it's ready to display messages, but is it displaying messages? Is it? Because I don't think it is. But I do want to thank everybody who tuned into the live show. I mean, the recorded upload that I added a moment ago. Right now, I'm just doing a quick experiment to see if I can maybe get... Okay, that works. Yo, David Glenn, give me a holler if you're still in the chat. I want to see if it comes up on the thingamabob over here that you see on my screen here. Because if it works... then we're Gucci. Well, I guess I could... Oh, that's sweet. It went automatically to a Japanese video. Oh, you guys can't hear the audio on my end. Okay, so you can't even hear the sound I just heard. Okay, so the chat is ready to display messages, but is it? And I do appreciate anybody who's already in the lobby. Oh, thank you, David. Yeah, it looks like that feature is hit or miss. Oh, David, it's backwards. Okay. That's weird. So, okay, so the chat is being displayed upside down. But I guess we're going to have to live with that. So, here goes something. Let me just verify that. Shut down source when not visible. No, don't shut down source. Uh-oh. Did I lose something? Uh-oh. Let's try that again. I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to pasta it. And then after you copy pasta, we looking like that. And then, because that takes up like the whole screen, we're going to try to shrink it a little bit, even though nobody can read that. And then we're going to try to shrink this bit, even though that's probably going to make it like less usable. And then maybe next week I'll come up with a better solution to that. This is the first time I've used the embedded chat from Restream. And so I'm just going to test it out. Like, look at my top screen right now. While I share this screen, I know what we're going to do. We're going to take this embedded chat here. We're going to put it in my main webcam view. And we're only going to use it here. So when I want to respond to chat, perhaps I'll do it over here. And then everything will be hunky-dory. And hopefully I don't misplace the box here. Where's my camera? Oh, there I am. There we go. So we're going to do that for now, even though that's a little disruptive. You know, just cover up this little side of the chat. It's just kind of distracting. All right. Anyway, let's get this show on the road. I'm just going to double check. Okay, so I'm looking at my top screen right now. Yeah, the tiny chat is not bad. So I can live with this. Okay, I appreciate you guys bearing with me. I'm like literally like looking at my own screen. Look, now it's a duplicate screen. It's gonna really mess with things. Anyway, okay, let's get right to it. So obviously we're doing a little space engine action today, and since the Restream chat is absolutely confusing me, I'm gonna open up the YouTube chat in a pop-out window so that I can better read the messages. And I'm going to turn on my drawing. No, I'm not going to turn on my drawing tablet because I'll probably hit a button on it by accident. I don't know. Well, let's see here. Let's you know, I am going to turn on my drawing tablet because then I can put it in the full screen and I can look down at the screen like I'm looking at paper. And yeah, so anyway, we're going to take a look at our local stellar neighborhood. What up, California Ford 44? It's good to see you. Thank you for dropping in tonight. And of course, I want to say hi to Deborah Cohen, David Glenn, and Pop Culture Mechanic. Oh, and James. And anyway, I do appreciate you guys dropping in for the Beam NG Drive video. And if we have time, I'm gonna see if we could download Timborghini's car. So anyway, we are in ultra widescreen mode, but I'm very tempted to go ahead and adjust the resolution right now, so I don't have to finagle it. So let's see what happens when we do that. Let's see if it breaks. Let's see if it breaks anything. Okay, 1080p 60 Hz. Now, great news. I mean, I don't know if this is good news or bad news, but I ordered a monitor. It's a nice monitor. It is the only monitor you can get that is Blur Busters approved, meaning that it'll actually deliver like a clean 120 hertz. In fact, it'll supposedly deliver a clean 244 hertz. Although I don't know if I believe that. So this is why I don't run Space Engine in full screen mode, because when you do that, you can see how you know, the screen goes black, then it goes back to black. So another reason why that monitor would be nice is the normal aspect ratio. It does, of course, affect my workspace. Like, where do I put my monitor? My current monitor. But I felt like I had to get that Blur Busters approved monitor, because if I didn't, it might not be in stock in the future. But yeah, like it's literally like the only monitor that delivers on the promise of the specifications listed on the box. Alrighty. So right now we are looking at a star system that is about 11 light years away from our own star system. This is called Tau Ceti, and it plays a role in the Hyperion Cantos by Dan Simmons, but it also is just a relevant system because it's got like a yellow, in fact, what does it have? A red dwarf. It has a yellow dwarf star, and it's got a number of planets, some that might be habitable. Now, before we do that, we're going to just kind of roll around a little bit. So I'm cranking up my speed, and you can see that's Tau Ceti, so we were just next to Tau Ceti. Now, there are some caveats I noticed about this app. Like, when you tell it you want to rotate around an object, it allows you to right-click and do this. You can also use the gamepad to do this. And why this I find this helpful is because right now in the center of our screen, we can see in the crosshairs the solar system. And you can see about 5 light years away from the solar system, we have Alpha Centauri. So this is actually what part of what I wanted to do last week. But last week I decided to shift gears to, you know, the star system, because I thought that would just be cooler. With, you know, a guest on. Speaking of which, I believe it is Real Wade Nation's birthday today. So after the stream is over, or even if during the stream if you want, you should drop by his live show and wish him a happy birthday. I think it's his birthday today. I'm pretty sure. It might be tomorrow. But anyway. I've been kind of not on any schedule insomnia. Hope it passed. Me too, man. I get insomnia right after this show. And my plan is to do a shorter show today, which is why I started late. So, same ending time. I'll probably run over again. But yeah, anyway, okay, so let's get right to it. So we get like an idea of three-dimensional, spatial orientation, I guess you call it, right? You got Alpha Centauri and the solar system. And the thing about Alpha Centauri is, even though we got this nice side-by-side view, actually, we should have a side-by-side view. I actually don't see it. Oh, here it is. Sorry about that, guys. So on the left side of the screen, we have the solar system. On the right side, we've got Alpha Centauri. And we're going to type in Proxima Centauri, which is like a quarter of a light year closer to us. And you can see it. You can't actually see it. What you see is this little spinning reticle here. So let's see how close we got to fly to it to even see it. Now, it should be noted that we know Alpha Centauri. I mean, we've always seen Alpha Centauri in the night sky because it is actually not a single star. It is in fact a binary star system. And so these two guys orbit each other, and as I'm aware, they don't have any planets around them. I think a snuggle bunny would help with that. I don't know if that's a literal bunny or a type of pillow, but I found I think if I want to get a body pillow like Gator has, I need to buy like a blank pillow and then buy a pillowcase for it. That's like the more economical way to get a pillow of that classification. So right now, okay, where's our solar system? Right in front of us. And we're going to go up. So now you can see Proxima and the solar system. And remember, Alpha Centauri, a binary star system, is directly behind us. And let's see what we get to see here. Well, there's actually another object closer to it. Now, here's a little caveat about this app that I don't fully understand. So, remember I told you about that rotating around it? I can rotate around the sun. But when I go to right click on certain things, this happens. In fact, it seems that the closer you get to certain stars, see like it's drifting right now? I'm not 100% sure why that happens and if it's like a regular thing, but all I know is I find it very disruptive when I want to get that right click menu. So I do need to get, now that I'm more familiar with this app, I really should like nail down the hotkeys. But you got Proxima Centauri C, and it's like way out from its parent star. And what we're going to do is we're going to press F8 and we're going to get a solar system chart. And it looks like there's a glitch here. Once in a while you get these weird glitches. It could be because this star system is a mod. It's probably because I changed the screen resolution while running the application. So the app is probably just utterly confused by the fact that I did that. And you can see the way everything rotates. You can see the parent star rotating when I manually move it. We do have this is a glitch right here. But anyway, we're going to roll with it. I think when we click on these, we'll get a better look. So that looks interesting right there. It even looks like it's got an ocean on it. It's a cool marine terror. Terror really just means it's got rocks on it. It's got about, apparently if I'm reading that correctly, it's got one Earth mass. And it's a 13,000 kilometer planet, which is about the diameter of the Earth. So actually, this is this might be a good place for us to blindly land on. It's got pretty big ice caps on it. Now, of course, we didn't get pictures of this for real. What we have gotten is spectroscopy. When the planet passes in front of its parent star, and the light from that star shines through the atmosphere, we can use a prism and see what colors are absorbed or not absorbed and determine basically, gaseous elements and things of like how much water vapor is in there. And then, you can essentially infer like, okay, based on this much water vapor, we have an ocean, or based on these compositions and the distance from the star, we can expect these temperatures. So that's the gist of it. Now let me go and take a look at the chat real quick. But while we do that, real quick, this one is a temperate oceanic aquaria. I feel like this is a glitch. I'm not feeling confident in this information right now because this is pretty close to its star. So you know what? We're going to go to Proxima D, then we're going to go to Proxima, Ah, okay. They were in backwards order, I think. I don't know. I'm very confused right now. Okay, there it is. It is closer to the star. So how close to the star? Well, we're going to determine that right now, and we're going to do this in a very simple way. We're going to just select its parent. In fact, we already selected the parent, and the red dwarf system, Proxima Centauri, is 400-something thousand kilometers, which doesn't mean anything to me. It's less than an astronomical unit away. Let's see how far away we're going to fly before it becomes 1 AU. All right. Damn, if that's close. So now you can have habitable planets closer to the parent star, provided that, you know, that you have a weaker star. But as you get closer to a star, you run into this problem where you know, you got to deal with the solar flares. You got to deal with instability. So, you know, we're a bit more shielded being further away from the sun. We're a bit more, you know, protected from those aspects of the sun's behavior, in addition to, of course, the, whatchamacallit, you know, the atmosphere and magnetic field. With that being said, allow me a moment to review the chat. I'm looking at my drawing tablet. I'm not putting my head down in shame. Wow, no caffeine in days. That's amazing. Yeah, I find that if I have red wine or something before bed, that I think the sugar makes me stay awake. So I was like, yeah, nah, not doing that today because I want to sleep and have a good day at work. Plus, they changed the number of schedules at my job, and I'm concerned that this is the planet we were looking at earlier with the, you know, the water on it. I'm concerned that I will, you know, you know, be working with different people and that they will be less tolerant of me combining 2 15-minute breaks into 1 half-hour break. So I need to, you know, make sure I take some care there. Now, I would love to land on it, but I think it's kind of pointless to land on it. But sometimes when you have, like, we do know the position of the planet. So landing on it, you get an idea of what it looks like from the surface, what the star looks like. But when you have exomoons, I think it's a lot more rewarding. And unfortunately, we don't really have any exomoons documented yet in outside systems. And even if we did, the resolution of the picture you'd get from this would be pretty non-existent. Like, there is some, you know, there are some pictures, simulated images of what you would see if you had a big enough telescope. And even then, it looks like a blur. But imagine a blurry image, but you could still see evidence of the planet rotating. You can still see the weather, you know, patterns moving. So even if it's not a clear, super clear image, it's like, okay, well, you got an idea of how much land, how much, you know, water there is. But I do want to direct your attention to that volcano. And I am curious if that volcano was added to this because of elements seen in the atmosphere. And based on the numbers, atmospheric composition is N2, O2, and argon. So, you know, we got, I believe that's nitrogen, oxygen, and argon. The application, Deborah, is Space Engine. It's a fantastic app. Here's the menu screen right here. It also has a flight simulator, so we could even fly the Starship Enterprise, although, you know, I'm not really good at flying the spacecraft at the moment, but it does have some interesting orbital mechanics, much like using Kerbal Space Program. Essentially, the speed at which you orbit a planet dictates, you know, dictates how wide of an orbit you're in. So let's see what else we got here. Yeah, absolutely, James. It does look like ice caps and liquid water, and I'm guessing, you know, that's based on a reasonable info. Hey, what up, Carlos Fish? Good to see you, man. Thanks for dropping by. We got a superstar here today. Jokes aside, he does I like his work on, you know, Snow Dove Show. It's very entertaining, and he's a quality fish. And a dangerous one. If you're in the ocean, I mean. Yeah. It's out of space there, California, Ford. So, a few weeks ago, I took a break from caffeine, like a couple months ago. Yeah, the rings on this planet are messed up. I'm hoping it's only or maybe these are the rings. You know what? Maybe these are the rings. This might be one of, yeah, those are, okay, those are the rings. It's not messed up. So, you know, not everything's NASA, but interestingly, the imagery of Pluto is from NASA, and it looks damned good too. It does look damn good, the Pluto imagery. And we can revisit Pluto if you guys want tonight. You know, if there's a desire or demand, let me know. But for now, let's see if we can eyeball Tau Ceti. And how am I going to eyeball Tau Ceti? Well, first, we're going to find Sol. There's Sol. We're going to rotate with objects so that now when I spin around it like this, we're actually moving in a circular arc. And we're going to just look for... Now, right off the bat, I'm only 10 light years away. So I got to go like 5 or 10 light years away. I got to go like 12 light years away, minimum, to see Tau Ceti. But I suspect at 20 light years, we should be in pretty good shape. Or not. I think sometimes we should just... Oh, yeah, the other problem is certain planets have weird names. So, for example, Tau Ceti... It's like, luckily, it's in the database under an alternate name, but it's got like a funny letter T. Like, it says T Ceti, but that's not a normal letter T. That's like one of them weird letter T's, you know? So, let's go and take another look at Tau Ceti. And while we do that, let's see here. Can you drive a big 1963 ambulance like the Ghostbusters car through space? That might be fun. You wouldn't be able to hear the sound of the Ghostbusters siren, though, James. That takes away half the fun. What's up, Amber M? Thanks for dropping by. Hope you're having a wonderful evening. So, regarding the robot suit, I'm probably going to have to trim the back off because, like, I thought about it, I said, I can't sit down in this thing. It's like, I don't know. I don't think it would fit if I sat down in the fiberglass, carbon fiber. But if I trim the back, I think I'm good. And if worst case scenario, I'll go Melanie Mac style and do standing mode. You know, I don't have a standing desk, but I'll stand up anyway. However, I learned so much, even though like I already sunk money and time into making this carbon fiber bit. I might not use it a lot. I might use it for the robot, like as like an evil robot, alternate dimension robot or something like that. I mean, I gotta think it through. I'm gonna see what the finished product looks like, how much I like wearing it, figure out what I did and didn't like about it. At this point, I don't think I'm going to put much more carbon into it, but I might add some fiberglass to the inside of it to help reinforce it. So, you know, it's not going to be ready, but I'll have pictures I can show you guys during the week. I got pictures now I can show you, I guess. But beyond that, I think what PD the robot really needs is something that connects here and here together. And so now that I understand how to work with carbon fiber and fiberglass, how to make my own molds, I think we can do it. But that's a different topic. I just wanted to mention that for some reason because Amber reminded me of it. Drive? No float? Yes. Like me. Haha. Drive? No. Float? Yes. Like me. And you know, I guess you could like, you know, use the exhaust pipe as reaction mass. Or you could, you know, shoot, reaction mass out of your exhaust pipe. Now, you guys let me know if you do or don't like the chat on this side. Maybe I'll remove it from this screen and only show the chat when I go here. But if you guys don't mind, then I'll leave the chat up because I do want to show appreciation for you, the people in the chat. So, the chat is blocking these checkboxes here, but I'll tell you what it says. It says show stars, planets, dwarf planets, which... we only really have documented dwarf planets in our solar system. Moons. Apparently, we don't really have any documented moons. Gas giants and gas giant minor moons. Okay, that's like a different category. And planetary barycenters, which I don't even know how well those are documented, but I think that's just going to confuse the imagery anyway. But you can see the Tau Ceti system. This one I had to download an update to get this data. This is actually pretty accurate data. And this one doesn't have any tidally locked planets, but it was a star system that you could see that one side was covered in ice, and it looked like it was pretty much tidally locked, meaning that when you have, typically it happens when a planet is really close to its parent star, it'll rotate in sync with its orbit. So as it's rotating, it's sort of like if you were like, you know, walk around somebody and keep your eyes fixed on somebody while walking in circles around them. That's sort of like what tidally locked is. So, you know, the moon, for example, I think, you know, it's interesting. Sometimes we talk about the moon being weird. People are like, oh my god, the moon is such a weird coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences. How did the moon get like that? And it's like, I actually believe in coincidences. Doesn't mean that everything is a coincidence, but coincidences are not unreasonable. But anyway, my point is that I believe the moon was hit by a massive object that created molten rock, and then the molten rock was sort of, spinning itself dry, and that's why there's a lot of weird glass like rocks on the moon. On the other hand, I can't rule out it was put there by aliens or some greater being, like directly put there, like almost like something engineered or something. But just because I can't rule it out doesn't make that the main possibility. But I think it is, I think that objectivity goes both ways. But anyway, let's keep going here. So this is a warm lacustrine. A warm lacustrine super terror. And you can tell because it's got 3.1 Earth masses. Now, here's one of the issues here. In Proxima Centauri, we saw objects that had the size roughly that were roughly the size and mass of Earth. At least one object was about the same mass. As you go further away, and just in general, the nature of the beast when dealing with exoplanets and how we capture them. And do I have those pictures? I had some really cool pictures of how they how we capture pictures of exoplanets. And I think we're going to find, I'm going to show you guys some examples right now. So let's see here. So some of these are simplistic, like you got like this thing, it looks like it's got a ring and a moon, or it's a star and a planet. You got these, which are almost like time lapses. You got this where they put like a shadow called a coronagraph that blocks the starlight, and then they try to image the surrounding area. And if you have like bright dots that are moving in a circular pattern, it's a pretty good sign that's a star. I mean, a exoplanet. Or here's a cool one. This one's a great one because it shows you like a representation of the raw data. 20 AU. That line represents 20 times the distance between the Earth and the Sun. So, somewhere between here and here would be the distance from the Earth and the Sun. And then we get further out, then we're talking about Pluto. I mean, not Pluto, Jupiter distance, Saturn, and then maybe Pluto somewhere here. But these all look very planet-like. And you can see the calendar rolling forward. 2013, 14, 15. So even this one here takes multiple years to complete one circuit. That looks like a 20-year orbit, I guess. And it gets even longer as we go further out. So anyway, just wanted to share, the basis of some of the data we're looking at, or some of the imagery we're looking at, or some of the graphics we're looking at. This is actually, I believe, them astronomers discovering planetary formation, and that was over the course of 2015, 2017, and 2019, apparently. And I guess it's more of a speculative thing, but it's kind of like a way of like seeing what our star system might have looked like. And this one is a planet that has similar mass to Jupiter. So I wouldn't expect unfortunately it's not going to be anything much smaller than that. We just have an easier time detecting those larger planet. We have an easier time detecting larger planets. Or here's like Beta Pictoris and its exoplanet. And some of these we don't even have the any idea what's in the atmosphere. I'm sure astronomers try to get that information as quick as possible. But depending on what type of telescope you're using, you're sharing that resource with a lot of the people, a lot of other parties or groups. No doubt, Amber, I appreciate you dropping in regardless, and I hope you have a wonderful evening. We should spring for landing probes for all. Absolutely, we should spring for landing. Because also, James says I should read that before I comment. James says we should spring for landing probes for all of these places. And sooner rather than later, humanity will need more real estate. And, it's like, the beauty of space is that there might not even be like aliens for like half a galaxy over. So you don't have to worry about any of that. Oops. What the hell did I just do? Oh, sorry guys. we might not even have to worry about all that colonialism baggage. You know what I mean? Like, so like people could bitch and moan and say, oh, humanity messes up everything. They don't deserve to go to the cosmos. I saw someone post that shit today. A guy was saying that the push for Mars is the Apex players trying to get a second home on Mars so that they could destroy the Earth and then come back to an empty world. And it's like, you know, just like one of those like funky conspiracy theories. Now, real quick, we should note something here. These temperatures, I don't really understand them. I got to do some of my own research, but you'll see like some of them, they have an average temperature of 226 Fahrenheit. Other objects have temperatures in the negatives. This one here that I selected here is a temperate marine super Terra. Now, super Terra, once again, that's nearly 3 times the mass of the Earth. It's not quite as, it's more like barely double the size. It's only 1.5 size of the Earth, actually. It's only 40% larger than our planet. But it's got more than double the mass. So I don't know what the implications of that are outside of the gravity being presumably double. Meaning that you would weigh double, meaning that Angry Canadian has a new avatar. Hey, what up, Angry Canadian? I see you got a new avatar. Look at that. He's got a new avatar. It's got like a big red circle. Maybe it looks different on my screen because I got a black background right now. But in any case, it is wonderful to see the Angry Canadian who's been killing it in Halo games for the past week. I remember a joke, but not precisely. Something to do with the Enterprise and Uranus. I sent a picture of Uranus and another exoplanet to a friend, a dwarf planet actually. I have a friend and he married somebody whose internet nickname is an exoplanet. So I took a screenshot of the dwarf planet and Uranus and I said, hey, look, I got a picture of such and such and Uranus. You know, it's like his girlfriend or his wife and his anus, even though it's the planet Uranus. But anyway, yeah, I get amused by simple things. Earth first, will mine other planets later. Well, I mean, Earth first, we don't want to deplete Earth because if we deplete it, one of the weird things about fossil fuels is they're heavily misunderstood. But there are organisms that didn't exist when oil was forming that exist now. And that may be a factor as to why we may never be able to replenish our oil. So we might get to a point where it's that much more difficult for us to reindustrialize after a catastrophe. And whether that means we should put every resource into going out to the stars or not, I mean, that's like that could be argued. But I do think that we're not putting enough in. And if we disagree on how much resources we should put into going out to the cosmos or colonizing or making Plan B, probes are cheap. Robotic missions are cheap. I mean, compared to like landing men on the moon, compared to even putting people into low Earth orbit, sending probes the distance is super cheap. You know, like the fuel, you need way less fuel. You don't need to bring any food. You know, it's just like, and they make these probes seem really intricate, and they are. And, it makes sense to put some cutting edge technology into these probes. But at the same time, it is feasible to do it with cheap stuff. And one initiative I kind of like, but I dislike the guy behind it, is Breakthrough Starshot. The idea is sending probes to Proxima Centauri using these micro probes, where it's like basically like a microchip with a camera on it and a solar sail. And then we would use super powerful lasers as a way of getting these things up to a high fraction of the speed of light. And then they would fly past Alpha Centauri at a really high speed, or Proxima Centauri, and get us some data. And you would send a swarm of probes. And we don't really have the technology to do that yet. So it's like, great, this guy's got his non-profit organization where they dilly-dally and talk about this fucking idea, part of my language. But it's like, I want some action now. Like, can we build some solar sail probes with our technology now? Can we build maybe some micro probes that use chemical propulsion or ion propulsion, like, that take twice as long to get there? Something. Because, I think people 50 years from now would very much appreciate having some means of receiving, pictures and data from the nearest star system, But mainly our local local, whatchamacallit, our own solar system, the asteroid mining resources alone. And, like, a friend of mine made a good case. He argued that we shouldn't even be, we should be building a space station where it's like a waypoint. and we ship asteroids from the asteroid belt into a closer orbit, and then we essentially build ships in space. And to go between the asteroid belt and low Earth orbit, we would have a shuttle, because you could just refuel it. A shuttle is not going to be subjected to the same forces as, you know, as a rocket, basically. Have a good night, caller speech. I hope I didn't ramble too much there, but no, I really do appreciate you dropping by, and hope you have a pleasant sleep cycle. A pleasant regeneration cycle. But anyway, yeah, so where's my brain? What about saving the bees and the polar bears, huh? Yeah, we should bring them to space. Look, that's why I like Knights of Sidonia no Kishi. Because that's what they do. They have the seed ship. Granted, they left Earth because it was turning into a real dump because of invading aliens from another dimension, or something. But, like, they have a ginormous ship. When you have a big enough ship, one of the ways to generate air and have sustainable food and all of that crap is to, you know, like, just carry your plants, carry your water, let the microbes do some of the work, let the bugs, even the what do you call it, the people who work with bugs, even that person has an important job on a seed ship. So I'm looking at this from this angle right here, because we see the rings casting a shadow on the polar region, and that implies that the sunlight is hitting this from a low angle. In fact, from the angle we're looking at it now, and that's how it's casting the shadow. So, you know, that's what the planet would look like if you're looking at it from the position of its star. But let's keep on rolling. Etymologist. Yep, etymologist. Thank you. And, you know, so it's an option. But, yeah, anyway, like, now there are some dangers. Look, I watch Mobile Suit Gundam. I understand that there is a danger associated with moving asteroids around from the asteroid belt into low Earth orbit. I'm reading a book right now where something very similar is happening, where they take the biggest asteroid in the asteroid belt, Ceres, which is actually a dwarf planet and featured in The Expanse, and apparently somebody's going to be crashing that thing into Mars in the book. All right, let's rotate with object. I was thinking about plastic soda bottles full of sewage might be the way to terraform Mars. Ooh, I like the way you think, James. Killing two birds with one stone. Look, I think we all want to throw garbage at the sun. But as it turns out, it's not like the easiest or cheapest, you know, place to accelerate things into. You know, essentially to get things into the sun, you have to slow down their orbits. You got to decelerate drastically. Okay, so far we've seen these 3 star systems. I hope we're not jumping around too much, guys. So we got Alpha Centauri to the left. We got the solar system, which we could barely see. So the way this app works, as you move away from the solar system in the middle, it's going to fade away. And if I want to make it visible, I can make it visible by cranking up the magnitude. But when I do that, this starts happening. And as you can see, that's just way too much stuff on the screen. And at this point, if nothing's labeled, we can click on things and manually, you know, do that. So one thing that I wish this application had was a way to increase the visible magnitude of stars that are closer to you, but to hide the stars that are not near you. Because I really don't need to see like the red supergiant stars in the backdrop. Like, I really just care about stuff within 50 light years, you know? And you could see, like, as I'm flying around in this 3-dimensional manner, you can see there's clearly some spatial stuff going on. I know it's a little bit, like, messy, but you can definitely see there's, like, some depth. You know, there's some 3-dimensional stuff going on here, but all of those stars in the background make it, like, impossible to really appreciate that. So I'm going to reset the magnitude. And tell me, guys, do you prefer that I turn on the names, or do you want to see the names and the distances with relation to the camera? So we got name or name and distance. So the sun is so big that is hubris to think we could affect the stability. That being said, if we could find a way, we probably would. And so, you know, like or like Star Trek, what do you call it? Generations. I mean, when Malcolm McDowell was shooting missiles into the sun on some other planet in order to, like, you know, basically destroy it. So here we are. Good. This is what I want to find here. So this one here is Epsilon Eridani. And it is a star that does feature in the Bobverse or Bobiverse series of books. So if you ever see the books, I am what is it called? We Are Bob. I don't know. It's a great book. I recommend the Bobiverse by Dennis E. Taylor. Name and distance. Thank you, Deborah. We're gonna stick with name and distance. So Epsilon Eridani is about similar or comparable in distance to what do you call it? Tau Ceti. In fact, I can't even see Tau Ceti anymore. I lost. It could be under me. Oh, look, there's a star named Men. There are men 550 light years that away. It literally says Men. There's Vega. Vega is oh, there we go. Tau Ceti's right here. So we got Vega out there, but let's just focus on the stuff that we can actually see in context of our own star. So where is our parent star? I'm gonna say our parent star is. Oh, I'm next to it. There it is. Wait, crap! I lost Epsilon Eridani. Oh, here it is. So Epsilon Eridani is like about same distance as Tau Ceti. And once again, like, why are we looking at these? Well, if we don't have warp drive, if we don't achieve faster than light travel, and it'll probably, like, some people are going to tell you it will never have faster than light travel. And I would never say that we would absolutely never have faster than light travel. I understand that it's not like, I know that sci-fi gives people the impression it's easier than it is. But yeah, arguably, saying that we would have faster than light travel in 10,000 years is similar to saying never, but it isn't never, you know? Interesting. Also known as Reach in Halo. That's actually very helpful. Oh, correction. Epsilon Eridani 2 is Reach. In Larry Niven's Lucifer's Hammer, a terrorist organization launched asteroids into the sun to create coronal mass ejections, basically like solar flares. Space trebuchets, not a good idea. Oh yeah, space trebuchets flinging things in random vectors for fun. Hell yeah! Look, there's actually so much space out there, it probably wouldn't be a problem. But anyway, Epsilon Eridani is an orange dwarf. I want to say that's comparable to our star. And we only have one star known in orbit of it. This is Agir, Ager, Egger, Iger. I don't know. You could see, maybe that's Bob Iger's star. That's probably what it is. You know, for you people who love Disney, that's Bob Iger's planet right there. That's why he runs Disney the way he does, because he's an alien from the planet Iger. Isn't Saturn large enough to be a star that just has it? Yeah, does it have a mass? Jupiter has even more mass than Saturn, I believe. But, like, you could argue that either one of them, especially Jupiter, is a failed star. And it'll never become a star unless you watch the movie, I don't know if I should ruin that movie. So one thing I love about the look of this one is just that purple right there. How lovely is that? Let's take a screenshot. Oops, sorry, I made that black thing happen again. Yeah, show me your rings, baby. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, show it to me. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I'm acting like one of those like sleazy photographers. They're like, oh yeah, show me. Anyway, DJ, do you play any space games like Stellaris? Oh, I gotta play Stellaris more. I barely remember how it goes. I've played Astroneer back when it was like still like super duper early access. I'm gonna probably revisit KSP again. I'm probably not gonna revisit KSP 2. Apparently they just stopped developing that game. Like it was just a disaster. It's just like they didn't really have the funding to keep, you know, producing the game. So apparently KSP 1's gonna live forever and KSP 2 is not. You probably could do more in KSP 1 with mods than you can in 2. There was a lot of promise. KSP 2 had like things like, you know, nuclear engines that like, like the Orion engine, where it's basically detonating a nuke behind the ship multiple times, like once every second to get acceleration. And that was just like, you know, unfortunately, like we barely have it. When the game came out, it was incomplete, and they really didn't have the resources to complete it. So this is about 10 Earth diameters, about 132,000 kilometers. The mass, I don't know. It's using a different unit of measure that I don't understand. It's 0.6 somethings. Oh no, there's like I forgot how many I saw on. I don't want to be referencing that jerk Bill Nye, but many years ago I saw an episode. Was it Bill Nye or Beekman? I hope it was Beekman because I like Beekman's world is better. Like yo, Bill Nye like looked like a smart scientist motherfucker. I get it, but Beekman was cooler. Beekman never became a dick. Okay, Beekman's still a good guy today, but Bill Nye is a dick, and yeah, so yeah, go Beekman. But anyway, Bill Nye has some good episodes, I guess, and I believe he showed that you could fit 300 Earths inside of the sun, and you could fit like 30 Jupiters inside of whatchamacallit. Well, let's see here. Jupiter. And what up, Salty Traveling Sea and Bucky's Crafting? Good to see you. I just have to leave a like. Hope you're having fun. Yeah, we're having fun. DJ in the easy. Chicky. Anyway, Jupiter is categorized as a cold Jupiter. Shit, I would think it's just a regular Jupiter. I mean, it is the first Jupiter. It's one. Okay, so this is funny. I now realize something. I think the symbol over here means Jupiter. Now I gotta go look it up. Remember on Sailor Moon when they had the different planets for the different symbols for planets? Yes! Okay, this is cool. So that's the Jupiter symbol right there. Although that looks like a Jupiter symbol. Oh, I see they got a Unicode version. Okay. So this is the Unicode version of this, apparently. Very confusing. But anyway, when you see this symbol next to a number, they're telling you that they're comparing it to the mass of Jupiter. So Jupiter is one Jupiter mass, whereas Eiger is 0.6. It's about half a Jupiter. So it's a little bit more than half a Jupiter. But what I don't see here is the Earth. Am I blind? Oh, here it is. Yep, the Earth's got this cross-looking thing here. So bottom line is that's why when I was looking at names at the mass, it would show this symbol. That means one Earth mass, or it's basically saying that whatever number is next to this, you just, multiply or divide it against, multiply it against this, the mass of the Earth, and that's the actual size of the planet. But for all intents and purposes, we have an idea of how big our own planet is. And so if you look at another planet and you're told that it's one of these or two of these, it makes sense. But Jovian masses, let's see how many Jupiters, how many Earths can fit in a Jupiter. How many Earths can fit in Gosh darn it, how long was I muted? Did you hear any of the shit I said about Bill Nye? About him being a mechanical engineer? Now he bitches about climate change, and how he got his ill-gotten gains because he started his career in the petroleum industry. And let me know if I'm repeating myself there. But yeah, so Bill Nye starts his career in the petroleum industry. Then he goes around with those ill-gotten gains telling us how we gotta fucking live. Oh my god, 4 minutes. Brutal. Brutal. Oh. Aye. Hey, what up, Peter Venkman fan site? Good to see you. So anyway, let's see, what was the last planet we were on? We were talking about that planet named after Bob Iger. Hopefully, you guys heard most of my rant about Bob Iger looking like a planet, or being like a planet, or being from another planet. I was talking about, did you guys hear the part where I compared the size of Jupiter to the Earth? So yeah, there's 1,000 Jupiters inside the sun. There's 330,000 Earths in the sun. And there's like, I forgot how many Earths in Jupiter. But bottom line is that when you click on certain planets, you're going to see a symbol next to that planet. And it's going to basically tell you if it's comparable to Jupiter or comparable to Earth, like whatever's easier. In fact, the planet in the top left corner is about, what, 40% the size of Jupiter or some shit? It was like half the size of Jupiter. Anyway, so this list over here, we got 4 star systems we're going to just shoot off at random. TRAPPIST-1, Ross-128, HSSC-450, and Tau Ceti network. Tau Ceti something. I don't know what the letter N means. But we already saw Tau Ceti, so we don't need to go there anymore. Does anybody have a favorite local planet that you want to see? Operators are standing by. Okay, so this planet's about 40 light years out. So this is a great opportunity to go and spread our wings a bit further out. Ratios of Earths to Jupiters. Yep. But point taken, on the boycott list he goes. I mean, he can have as many boys on cots he wants, as long as they're not me. Okay, that's awful. I try to put foot and mouth disease there. All right, so this is great here. Look at this. We got a pretty thorough list of exoplanets here. Now, I imagine these are all freaking huge, because there's no way you're detecting like small objects at this range, right? So actually, this planet I just randomly clicked on, TRAPPIST-1c, is 1.3 Earth masses. It is roughly the same diameter as Mother Earth. It is a warm, arid terror. I like when they call planets frigid. Sounds like you're calling someone names. Yeah, looks like a dry, hot place. Once again, I didn't do my homework on temperatures. So I'm going to guess that an average temperature of 151 Fahrenheit isn't good. I'm always going to guess that I manually told this program to give me temperatures in freedom units, imperial units, because I'm pretty sure it's set to Kelvin or centigrade by default. But I literally can't think in Celsius. Literally can't think in Celsius. I mean, I could think a little bit in Celsius. So this is another ocean world where we have like some water, or what looks like water. This is a cool marine terror. It's got a crap ton of ice on it, so even though it looks like an ocean, it probably is iced over. It's got an atmospheric composition of nitrogen, oxygen, CO2, and argon. Nitrogen, CO2, O2, H2O, and argon. This one's going to be cold as F. This is a cool lacustrine terror. Yeah, these are all surprisingly Earth-sized-ish. And then this one's kind of small. But did somebody say Venus? I want to see Ganymede. You know, I think we're going to go back to the solar system, because I did say I wanted to drop by Pluto before the end of this. Jupiter and Earth, yeah, like I think it was like, what did I say? 300 of them? I'd have to Google it again. I said it like 2 minutes ago, probably while I was on mute. But yeah, so anyway, that's the TRAPPIST-1 system, and we kind of got a quick lineup there. Let's do one quick twirl around the you know, the area. And we're also going to give you guys a little, I'm going to give you guys a little more perspective too. So before we go back and do a proper flight in about own star system, we're going to go out a lot. But first, look at that. So there's our 3D representation. I hope I don't make you guys a bit dizzy. But, oh, I almost forgot. I neglected one important star because it comes up a lot in science fiction books. It's called Fomalhaut. And you got Beta Pavonis. That's a cool name. But now let's go to Fomalhaut. And the reason that Fomalhaut is of interest to me, we're flying into Fomalhaut right now, is because one, it's got a couple of objects nearby. So look, right next to Fomalhaut, you got TW Pisces Austrini. Oh, whoops. Excuse me. All right, so we have a star. We don't have anything else in orbit of that one. What about Fomalhaut? That would be too damn bright to be on. In fact, its closest planet is called Dragon, although it has a negative 222 degree Fahrenheit temperature on its average. It is also 3 Jupiter masses in size. So this is a triple Jupiter right here. And obviously that's a simulated spot. We don't actually know what's on it, but based on the gases, you can kind of guess that if you have that much of a certain composition of gases in the same place, apparently water vapor and helium, or hydrogen and helium. So yeah, that happens, I guess. Yeah, and it might not be tiny necessarily, but it's certainly less populated. Oh, not certainly. I should take that back because, you know, nothing's for certain at these ranges. You know, we're lucky we have any information about any of this stuff. And here's another one. So what's cool about Fomalhaut is if there are exoplanets in the area of Fomalhaut, it's got a number of nearby stars. And maybe there are some habitable planets we have yet to detect. And so it's like, you know, I think that another thing is if you're going to go embark on a long interstellar journey, one of the things that you might want... You did see Dragon, James. One of the things that might make sense is like, okay, well, it takes us 100 years to fly to a certain location, let's just say, if we're lucky. And that's why Proxima Centauri and Tau Ceti and even Epsilon Eridani are so good. Because, like, if we just gamble and send ships to those places and are unsuccessful in 2 out of 3, well, good thing we send things to all 3, because it would be a waste if we only sent ships to one, waited 100 years, and got nothing out of it. So this is a Luton 725 YZ SETI. So I remember, I think there were some signals that were supposedly coming from this star. I don't know if that's true. Like, I've never looked into it too much because at the time I was misspelling the word YZ when I did it, if you could believe that. I thought it was actually WISE, but it's not. But anyway, YZ SETI B, D, and C. YZ SETI B. It has about the size of Earth, and it looks like it's got basically a shit ton of water. It's like that planet from Star Trek Voyager made of water. This one looks like it's like Neptune, or was it Uranus? The planet that's rotated on its side. One of those 2 planets is rotated on its side compared to the other planets. I don't know if that's actually, if this is just inferred, or if they actually could figure out that this is like this. I'm going to have to look into that later. And then you got this cool purple one. And this cool purple one is pretty much 247 degrees Fahrenheit. So these 2 are super hot. This is a warm mini Neptune. So either way, you're not standing on the atmosphere on any of these. Now, as we fly towards our solar system, I got a question that I have not been able to get an answer to. And that is, what planet did you say you want to see salty? Was that Jupiter or Uranus? I think you'd have to send the pictures if we want to see that. Anyway, jokes aside, how do I spell... That's a tiny system. Which one? Fomalhaut? I don't remember, but there's an extra L in there somewhere. Sydney Sweeney's topless bathing suit. Yes, I think we can. We gotta look for a binary star system for that one. But no, jokes aside, there was a planet... Ganymede. You said Ganymede. Alright. Ganymede. I don't know why I said that in non-English. But anyway, we're going to fly back into our home solar system now. And then we'll go to bed after this. Hopefully, right? Jokes aside, let's see here. Oh, right off the bat. So I left all of the minor dwarf moons enabled. So these are minor moons. So all these orange lines represent the orbits of minor moons. So major moons, well, that includes Ganymede, which is currently a red line because we selected it. Then these other yellow lines up here are, you know, the other ones which are not labeled right now, which I find kind of annoying. Why is it labeling all of the other ones, but not the ones that I see here? That's kind of annoying. Well, anyway, I guess they assume that you're supposed to know the names of these moons. So you got Io, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto. And since Salty was like, I want to see Ganymede, we're going to take a good close look at that. Yeah, no doubt, bro. Wonder what's near Arcturus. What's so important about Arcturus? Did you hear about something? Do you know about something? Do you know about a plot? Do you know something about extraterrestrial perversions? It's like, you know, the movie Doctor Strangelove when the guy talks about bodily fluids and fluoride, and he's like, those commies and their perversions. So what's great about Ganymede is we got pretty damn good pictures of it. And I think we're going to land on a volcano. Now, I always have trouble with the automatic landing feature. Like, I don't know, you know, how to use it right, but we're going to just land on it. Obviously, this is this part of the surface is mostly inferred. Oh, look, I see Tower City over there. Now, one of the cool things you could do in this app, and I'm afraid to do right now, is increase the rotational speeds of everything. But if it'll let me copy and paste this, great. If it doesn't let me copy and paste this, it's going to be super inconvenient because it means I got to type in all of these numbers next time I want to do another fly through. So I'm kind of reluctant to hit the fast forward button. Like, as far as I'm aware, there's no bookmark. They should really have a way of bookmarking dates in this application because it's super tedious to have to retype all of these numbers down here. I'm going to do it for you guys, all right? So watch what happens here. So we're going to advance time at a faster rate. So we're on a rotating planet. So, of course, all of the crap is going to do this around us. And then somewhere above us, we should see Jupiter. I might be on the wrong side of the planet to see Jupiter. You can see Saturn in the back because it's got a bunch of crap orbiting it. But yeah, I lost Jupiter. Oh, there's Jupiter. See? The Jovian system. And I'm a DJ, so I'm going to do planetary DJing. Chick, chicka, chick, chick, whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay. And yeah, I know it could be kind of dizzying. Like a few weeks ago, I did this with Punkwald, and he's like, oh my God, man. I'm getting nauseous. Stop. And there's some crescent shapes right there because, you know, oops. Oh, yeah. So remember, when you set to rotate around Ganymede, doing this is not going to let you rotate around Jupiter. So just a little, you know, reminder that there are times you got to remember to reselect targets. And yeah, certainly it's more aesthetically pleasing to turn off, you know, turn off the orange lines. Now, I don't know if we did this last week. I think I showed you guys the camera path editor last week. I'm not 100% sure if I remember what we did. I'm going to play the song from The Expanse. No, actually, no. I'm going to sing it for you guys. Oh, that's the only part I could do. I don't remember if I loaded the high-resolution pictures from the Juno probe. I think these are from the Juno mission. And one of the things about Jupiter is that this application simulates pretty nicely is when you fly away from Jupiter or anything like this, it starts to look like a bright star. And when you're looking at like the moons of Jupiter from afar away, they look like additional stars. So like Jupiter looks like a star right there. In fact, this is like what this shit looks like on my telescope. It's like I'll see Jupiter as like a bright ball. In fact, it'll look huge compared to everything else. Unfortunately, this isn't perfectly simulating it, but usually you see like one bright ball or one big bright star, and you see like anywhere from 2 to 4, dots next to it, And then as you zoom in on it, it gets darker. But essentially the way cameras work is it's the same amount of light from over here as you're seeing over here. But when you zoom in on it, it's covering up more of your retina. And so if you spread the same amount of light over a wider part of your eye, it's going to look like it's getting dimmer. Or if you take the same amount of light and concentrate it on a single, point in your eye or a smaller part of your eye, it's going to look really bright. And that's just something that sometimes I remember a friend of mine was asking me, like, he was one of the cool flat earthers. He was actually genuinely asking questions, and he was genuinely interested in learning. Like, he wasn't just going to blindly follow his ideology because he favored it, like, or whatever you want to call it, like his worldview. But, he would ask questions, and he would, like, consider his position or reconsider his position, which I, greatly respected about that dude and appreciated. Because it wasn't like I was talking to a wall when I, asked him or explained these things to him. Like, so I'd say something, I'd be like, I got a real picture of Jupiter. He'd be like, oh, but why is it so bright and it gets darker when you zoom in on it? And I was like, well, it's because of this. And he'd be like, oh, okay, well, I appreciate that. And it's like, oh, well, I appreciate you listening, buddy. What's up, Mike? Good to see you, Pacific 414. Hope you're having a wonderful evening. You want to talk about 3D, Deborah? Do I have the button for that? I forgot how to do that. I actually bought some celluloid 3D glasses for this app, and I think I have to calibrate the color and brightness of my monitor to really use them correctly, Like, it's really tricky. Like, there's a button on the keyboard somewhere that turns on 3D mode, and I probably shouldn't press that button if I can even find it right now, because it would probably, just... Oh, here it is. It's called an anaglyph. I said that wrong. That is called an anaglyph. No, that is called an anaglyph. Anaglyph, not an anaglyph. That is an anaglyph. So you put on 3D glasses and you can see this in a 3D supposedly. But the reality is, if you see any of the red on the blue side of the 3D glass, like, so 3D glasses, you got red and blue. In fact, where are they? I have a really good pair here. Like, I got a pair of 3D glasses that look like sunglasses. They literally look like proper sunglasses here. So let me just move my camcorder and my Wilton the Troll mask. Yeah, I'll clean my desk tomorrow. There's no way I'm finding that right now. But yeah, that's a thing you can do. I mean, I don't know if I can darken up my monitor. I would do it, but it's true. I took a break from messing with it because it wasn't worth the effort. But look, if I get it to work with, like the right adjustments, and I can like set up a profile so I can change the settings back and forth, I would do it. I mean, why not? Because like looking at an asteroid with 3D glasses can be fun. So now let's see. Do we want to look at Uranus? Or we want to go straight to Pluto? We're going to take a look at Uranus real quick. Actually, or do we want to look at Saturn? There's so much crap to look at. I mean, like, we could be here all day if I don't curtail myself here. But let's see here. We're going to do dwarf moons again. So just now, those orange lines weren't there a minute ago. So the yellow lines, as you know, are major moons. You can see a crap ton of yellow lines going on the outer perimeter or outer, circumference. But there's so many. Like, you got Puck, Perdita, Portia, Belinda. They got a Spanish moon. They got two... Maybe these were picked up by Spanish explorers. Like, they got Francisco. They literally got a moon named Francisco. No, you're cleaning it today. TOD. Time of day is 0005. But, you got a lot of these dwarf moons that look like this. And what's cool is if I pick a random one, I bet you I could find a feature that occurs multiple times throughout the solar system. If I just keep clicking on random ones, by the third or fourth one, we're going to stumble into a really cool feature that I've theorized to be the result of the molten magma formation of the object. I'm going to lower my lights, guys. I want to try to, like, make my eyes adjust to sleep, all right? Oh, wait. Oh crap, I wasn't showing you guys the camera. I'm sorry. You guys gotta remind me. I gotta put someone in charge of reminding me to properly operate this camera stuff here. Like, I'm not just trying to talk to a wall here, you know? Or maybe I should do the Anton Petrov routine and put the planets behind me. Like, when I go like this, have the planet behind me. So that, this is part 2, Deborah, but I'll do a part 3. I can't turn off my light. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so I discovered something. If you put on red light with this remote, the infrared sensor won't work. Whatever, I'll deal with that later. All right. Yeah, we can do a part 3, Deborah. I'd be happy to do that. But let's see if we can find one thing. Well, let's see. I'm going to guess. Let's see. Amalthea. We're going to find something with an exotic shape before we wrap up. Because there's a particular shape. And if there's anything that anybody insists on seeing, like, I'll take one request before I wrap it up. Or if there's one request that someone made earlier that I neglected, I'll take that request. And at some point in the future, our friend Timberghini has a car for BeamNG Drive that I would like to download. And look, Amalthea has a moon. So a dwarf moon has a dwarf moon. How about that? And in fact, here's the thing we could do. So this is the solar system chart, right? We looked at this last week, but we're going to switch it to system architecture mode. So what I love about this view is how you can like actually see underneath each planet all of its moons. So you can say, show me objects of a minimum diameter. Look how big it gets. Like, you go from like, you know, don't show me anything or show me everything. Oh, look, we got that glitch again. Oh wait, there we go. No, it's not a glitch. And I'm guessing that Earth has only one satellite, even though I believe Earth has like another satellite, like natural satellite. It's not huge. It's more like a clump of like scattered rocks, but they are in orbit. Oh yeah, and Deborah, yeah, Venus does not have a moon. I believe we do have some good surface detail on Venus. We should take a look at that real quick. Ceres, see, look, it's got like iciness on it, and it's got like rocks on it. It looks a bit like the moon, but smaller. The Jovian, oh goodness gracious, I clicked on the wrong thing. Oh good, I can find it now. I'm looking for a moon that's shaped like a walnut. Oh come on. Whoops, I clicked on the wrong thing again. I'm sorry guys. Also, I thought it was, I just saw a tortoise. You did. It's right behind me. Now, let's see here. Ah, here we go. Thebe. Great, I don't like pronouncing THs. Anyway. My one remote barely works on a good day. I think the LED is too dim. Ah, yeah. It only uses one double. Oh, that's low voltage. Maybe you just like try hooking up a second battery to it. Like just put some jumper wires on that crap. Give it a second battery. Maybe get like 2 weak batteries instead of 1 strong battery, you know, and that'll give you more power. So right here, this belt you see around this moon or dwarf moon, it is a feature that comes up multiple times throughout the solar system. In fact, it probably comes up, I'm pretty sure it comes up multiple times between both Jupiter and Saturn, like in their own moons. Remember, Jupiter's got a bunch of moons by name. Then there comes a point where they ran out of, like, they stopped giving them names. So, for example, we got Jupiter LXIII. What is that, like Jupiter 63? And some of them have both names. Some of them will have a regular name and a numerical designation, you know? But my theory is that if this formed at some point when it was made of molten magma or molten rock and it was spinning around, just like if you was to make the Earth spin too fast, the ocean would, you know, ball out. And the flat earthers would say, oh, why doesn't the ocean fall off the planet? It's like, well, the mass of the Earth counteracts the force, the centrifugal force. But, you know, if it went fast, that could very well happen. It does look like a super moldy lemon too. You're right, Venkman. But it does look like a walnut. And that's the thing. First time I seen a lot of these, I said it looked like either a walnut or a scrotum. Let me fix that for you. I mean, what do you think? Kind of? Huh? Yeah, we'll rotate it because, like, what side of a scrotum would get light? I guess it depends if you're illuminating it from the bottom. What do you think? Is this family friendly anymore? Let's land on it. Oh, that is not landing on it. Oh, crap. I do not want to land on Jupiter. That seems like not a good time. So I got a question about Jupiter, though, in all seriousness. Okay, so Jupiter's a gas giant, but you could float around in the atmosphere with a hot air balloon with the right type of, you know, like lifting gas. So if you're orbiting Jupiter, the orbit and the centrifugal force and all of that and the active free fall, I guess it would be the free fall, would allow you to, you know, like not feel the gravity. But if you're in a hot air balloon and you're suspended in the atmosphere of Jupiter, I guess you would feel the gravity. Or if you flew in an airplane, let's say you had like an indestructible airplane that could fly through like a 800 mile per hour hurricane, I would assume you would feel the gravity in that plane. But when I Google it, I couldn't really get a good answer, and I hate when that happens. Ronnie's got a crotch fetish tonight. I didn't say, I'm just reading the chat. Landing on the ball. All right. Yeah. Now whoa. I want to get a good look here. I want to land on the belt. What up there, Lion Ratton? Good to see you, bud. Keep off the scrotum. But, you know, you got like a lot of these big asteroid craters. Okay, there we go. I want to land. Oh, God. We're going too fast. I'm sorry. See, I want to land on the scrotal belt. Where's Jupiter first? I want to find Jupiter so we could like be looking at Jupiter. There it is. All right. So, you know, maybe you land over here inside this crater. Maybe you say, oh, I'm going to stand on the rim of this crater so I can look at crap. All right. There you go. You got your beautiful view. Then, just conversing. It's all good, James busting chops too. Oh, that's kind of cool. If I had drums, I'd play the 2001 song. Da 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 da. I will spare you guys additional singing, but I will try to remember to work on an opening sequence for this show because I have an idea. These will make cool maps for BeamNG Drive, especially with, oh, that's an interesting idea. I think there is a way to export models from this game, so I think we covered all the plans. I think we should save the rest for the next part of this, but you guys let me know if you know, I should do something, show one more thing. But, you know, we got the camera path editor, which is great because it lets you, like, record the flight path of the camera, and then you can replay it multiple times so that you can essentially generate a video, the same video with different settings in multiple ways. So before we talked about how, you know, I said, do you guys want to see the names of the planets or the names of the planets and their distances from the camera? And so when you're recording a camera path with the camera editor, you can record a video both ways, and then when you edit in the editing software, you can have more control over, you know, that. There is an export planet script. Now, I don't know what it's actually exporting, and I don't know what happens when I actually export it. Let's see what happens. I bet this is super CPU intensive. Yeah, my screen just went blank. Did I crash it? I just crashed the application. All right. Obviously, we could reopen it and continue what we're doing. But I think that I'm going to take that as a sign from the code that my time is done here. Plus, I should go to bed and, you know, get ready for work and all of these things. But I do want to thank everybody for dropping in tonight. This was a wonderful turnout. And, you know, in particular, based on the list of people in the chat, we had... Oh, man, I misplaced my pen, man. I'm never going to be like Makini Drawers if I don't have the pen for my drawing tablet. Let me tell you. That's another reason I got to clean my desk. I need to find this stylus, man. I mean, I'm being deprived of being able to draw on my thingamabob here. Anyway, jokes aside, I do want to thank Deborah Cohen, David Glenn, who has probably gone to bed by now, and I hope he's sleeping well. We had, of course, James. We have James here. Right, in the present tense. Oh, wow, David Glenn was here pretty recently, too. God bless that man. Salty Traveling Sea. Angry Canadian with his new avatar, although that might not be a new avatar. That just might be the dark background I'm looking at it on. Lemon Pie, who has just dropped in. Hey, man, check out the replay. But if you don't like the replay, check out my last upload. You might enjoy that. We got, of course, Pop Culture Mechanic. Pop Culture Mechanic is going to have a show tomorrow. It's called Trades Talk. Trades Talk Tuesday, which coincides with My Friday. And you know how I love My Fridays, which are known as Tuesday. I lost my mouse pointer. Oh, there it is. And I think that covers everyone except for Carlos Fish. I should get his channel programmed into the, the thing, so I can just type in a quick command to put out his channel. And Amber M, friend of Floral from Under a Rock. That's the person who, I do the robot thing with on Wednesdays on the every fifth Wednesday. On every occasion, once in a while it's like I'm not a regular, which is perfect. I mean, I'm a regular. Punk Waddle called me a regular, which I'm flattered, but I would consider myself a regular irregular because I'm not on every week, but I guess I'm regularly in the chat, so that counts maybe. But I was honored to be able to join Punk Waddle, Mrs. Flu, and Red Tigress on Floral from Under a Rock last Wednesday. So if you want to see that, yeah, I sent my robot Petey, known as the PDP 180. Perhaps I should find that real quick. Oh, thank you, David Glenn. Let me see if I can find it real quick because oh, that's Fortnite Friday.
They move acrobatics and the thematics that don't really fit Star Wars at all.
Yeah, we did this last week.
You know that.
Mm-hmm. There's a
one male.
Obviously, I'm skipping to my scene.
Greetings, non-human biologicals. I am so flattered by that applause and Red Tigress greetings.
Greetings,
I looked to the right when I meant to look at the
Greetings.
left.
As you know, I am indeed a boy because DJ Ronnie G is very proud of his boy.
Oh god, it's awful.
That checks out.
Well, that's good. Try our best, but
Well, I love Mrs. Flu's acting.
Oh, yes.
I love her operating and handling of that
based off
puppet.
American Holiday, so it would just
Punk Waddle is
track
always a
if
treat.
They just use
And Red
us
Tigress
as
is a sweetheart
reference point again.
and a cool person, and she knows about Gundam.
Moral subroutines are against that.
wait a second. That was kind of the theme of iRobot, wasn't it?
Yeah, we don't need a
I
PDNet.
think it was.
But yeah, I'll leave a link
We
to
don't-
this in the chat, so you guys, if
Like
you want to
the-
watch it at any point, you're not
a lot-
obligated to, but if you at
It
all
would
are
be-
amused, and if you
Yeah,
didn't
we-
tune in on Wednesday, because I'm sure, like, Deborah
Breakfast
Cohen, she tuned in on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Deborah Cohen is
I do
there
like a
almost
happy
every
hour
Wednesday.
too, which
And if you want to
you
be
know,
cool like Deborah, oh, cool, yeah, Real Wade Nation's birthday party is on. So, here, do me a favor, guys. Wish Wade a happy birthday,
They move.
even if you don't know him.
Field.
But first, we're just going to do last week's
on the run here,
Floral
let's go. Here's a throw
from Under
underneath the tight end.
a Rock.
Ball carrier wrapped up, brought down.
And we're going to just grab the link to our boy Wade, and I'll mute the audio so we don't have to hear sports sounds. Because I'm not really into sports, but I'll put it back on when I wish him a happy birthday. Where's the thing in mid? Here we are. So, Wade a happy birthday. In fact, I misspelled the word birthday, but if you want, you can wish him a happy birthday, or you could use the misspelling and wish him a happy birthday. Yeah, isn't Mrs. Flu wonderful? I agree, Peter Venkman fan site. Oh, you think so? I think the robot was a bit heavy. I mean, that robot's got lead in his head, if you ask me. But if you say it was pretty well balanced and evenly stocked, I'll take your word for it. Yeah, right? She does need to throw more meat sticks. I agree, Venkman. Did we lose California Ford? Oh, I didn't name him. I actually was in the middle of reading his name on my screen to thank everybody who tuned in, and I kind of I think it lost my train of thought. But yes, I do want to thank California Ford 44 for tuning in. He's a cool dude. He was here last week too. And I think we covered about everybody. I want to thank David Glenn for dropping the link Maybe next time you could drop some Zelda there. I mean, Zelda is way prettier than Link. Link is a dude. If you could drop me some Zeldas, that would be hot. Oh shit, I hit the wrong button. I did not mean to hit that button, but yeah. Hey, Puffy, where's my camera? Let's turn my camera back on. There we go. That's my home girl right there. She's sweet. I think I'm the inventor of the birthdiversary. Oh, it is the birthdiversary. I was once watching Senator Congressman Ron Paul talk about the morality of terminating pregnancies. So he goes, "What is the difference between a baby 5 minutes before birth and 5 minutes after birth, or 1 minute before birth?" He said, "What is the difference between a baby 1 minute before birth and 1 minute after birth?" And it's like, obviously that's not what he meant, but you got it 1 minute after birth. I got my mind in the gutter. I'm sorry, guys. Anyway, getting back on topic here. That's my homegirl Puffy and Squirtle, both of them, and hopefully we get that turtle cam repositioned soon so we could get a better look at them sleeping. You know what? Since we're still here, we're gonna do just that. We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna punch in the camera name. And we're going to see if we can see any sleeping turtles here. And I cannot see any sleeping turtles. So that either means that Squirtle escaped or she's on the other side of the tank. We really don't know. It could go either way. I can't wait to move this camera to a better spot so that I can see both of them. Or I'll probably buy a second camera. But unfortunately, yeah, we don't really have any good view right now. If I could remember how to do it, we could probably rewind the tape. Oh yeah, there we go. Look, there's my homegirl right there. She's sleeping. Look at that turtley face there. Aw. Yeah, they could climb, James. Rossman was granted. I learned something. Yeah, you did make a Rossman reference earlier. Yes, and the way I clean that tank, they're liable to mutate there, Vankman. Oh crap. What did I just do? Oh man. I don't even know what I just did. How about that? Pipeline error, disconnected. All right, let's try it again. Oh, look at you. I got to change the video compression settings so that this doesn't look so messed up sometimes. But, like, that's what this is all about, guys. That's what this is all about. These Kodak moments with my lovely turtles, you know? Oh, there we go. Look, Puffy's right over there. You can barely see her, but you can see the little one right there. See her shell? Oh, there's her head. Oh, what is she doing? She's looking trying to snap at something there. All right, we're going to wrap this up here. Once again, I want to thank all of you for tuning in. And I hope you guys enjoyed the turtle pics. And yeah, with that being said, I dropped a link to Real Wade Nation Gaming Nation. If you want to wish him a happy birthday, that would probably mean a lot to him. And it would mean something to me, just to know that we're wishing our boys happy birthday. Can you train your turtle to go outside and adjust your telescope? Maybe if there's a food incentive involved, but even then, you put food in the tank and they don't even know what direction to look. So that could be hit or miss. But one of these days during the summer, oh wait, we are in the summer. One of these days, I want to put my telescope into visual observation mode, take the turtles out of the tank and put their eyes up to the eyepiece. Because I want to have the first turtle to ever observe the cosmos from an optical telescope. Because I'm somewhat confident that it has not been tried before. I'm not 100% sure, But to my knowledge, nobody else has ever publicized putting the turtle's eyes up to a optical telescope eyepiece. And so I might actually be able to get that record. The people at the subreddit were not impressed when I put that idea up. But if they're not impressed, it means none of them are trying it. Did you ever like rub their little turtle heads gently? Of course. Once or twice. I generally avoid it because I don't want to piss them off, but sometimes you have to. As part of their healthcare routine, when you have to put ointment on their head, you gotta rub their little turtle heads. And that's kind of funny and adorable and, stuff at times. And I do it out of necessity. Yeah, so yes, I have rubbed their little turtle heads in the past, but mainly for clinical purposes to apply ointment when, they get a little sunburn or a little scratch or a little bruise. So yeah, I hope that answers all questions. And with that being said, for anybody watching on the replay, if you have any questions, comments, or ideas, please leave a comment. Please consider liking and subscribing. And yes, I should submit that to the Guinness Book of World Records if I ever get that far. Although this week the weather is not very astronomical. And I'm also kind of reluctant to remove the imaging payload from the back of the telescope. Like once you get that shit adjusted, it's kind of annoying to remove it and put the eyepieces on. But maybe I'll do it. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. If you like and subscribe, I'm sorry, I'm a little flustered. Yeah, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, comments, or ideas, please leave a comment, like, and subscribe. And for now, we shall end transmission. Oh wait, I just hit the record button as opposed to the stop button. Let's try that again. And James does say the first turtle astronomer. One small. I think that's the Reddit post. I think I titled the Reddit post "One Small Step for a Turtle." And yeah, like I said, the people at the subreddit were not impressed, and I don't blame them. You shouldn't be encouraging people to be dragging turtles into dumb activities, but that is an academic pursuit right there. But jokes aside, good seeing you, Lemon Pie. And good question, Lemon Pie. Good question, James. Thanks for keeping the show extended, and I appreciate you guys tuning in. And I'm now going to hit this stop.